Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing on the topic noise pollution and its control. The word noise is derived from the Latin word nausea. Noise is defined to mean sound which is undesirable by the recipient. And noise is a type of atmospheric pollution. And we have a few authors who have defined as to what noise is. Harrell defines noise as an unwanted sound which increases fatigue and under some industrial condition it causes deafness. And J. Tiffin defines noise as sound which is disagreeable for an individual and which disturbs the normal way of an individual. Due to the rapid growth of urbanization, industrialization, and advancement of science and technology, noise pollution has become a growing menace. And the Environment Protection Act of 1986 recognizes noise as an environmental pollutant and empowers the central government to frame rules prescribing the maximum permissible limits for noise in different areas. Sources of noise pollution. What are the sources of noise pollution? The sources of noise pollution can be classified into two important kinds, and as it is one is industrial and the other is non-industrial. And industrial is nothing but the industries which generate noise and due to which noise pollution is caused. And the second is non-industrial sources like transportation, use of amplifiers, loudspeakers, etc., which significantly contribute to the noise pollution. And what are the effects of this noise pollution? The effects of noise pollution are it can be again classified into different categories. The first one is auditory effects. What is the auditory effect is when the noise damages the ear and causes temporary or permanent noise induced hearing loss. So when it is a permanent or a temporary noise induced hearing loss, what is this temporary hearing loss and permanent hearing loss? Temporary hearing loss is when the loudness of the noise is between 100 and 100 to 140 decibels. There will be a temporary loss in hearing. Whereas when it is permanent hearing loss, here the human being will go deaf, and it is a permanent damage which is done to the ear. And here this occurs when the intensity of the noise is more than 140 decibels. And the second category is non-auditory hearing. So here the noise causes various psychological and pathological disorders. So what kind of disorders does it causes? First one is annoyance, and second one is effect on communication, disturbance in sleep, effect on cardiovascular system, effect on the nervous system, hormonal effects, effect on reproductive system, increase in stillbirth rates, and birth defects. Now, moving on to the control of noise pollution. How can this noise pollution be controlled? The Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Rules of 2000 has put out some rules in order to combat this noise pollution. So these rules were notified by the Ministry of Environment and Forest on 14 February 2000, and this notification was made with the object of maintaining ambient air quality standards in respect of noise. And this it has authorized the central government and the state government, and in turn these governments have also authorized the district magistrate, police commissioner, or any other officer not below the rank of DSP designated for the maintenance of the ambient air quality standards of noise to implement these rules. And these rules have imposed a responsibility on the state government to categorize the areas into industrial, commercial, residential, or silent zones for the purpose of the implementation of these. And this is a table which tells us as to what should be the noise levels when we look into the different areas, as we spoke about it earlier. Like we have different categories in these areas like industrial area, commercial area, residential area, and silent zone. So what should be the limit of noise that can be generated in such areas? So it has been divided into daytime and nighttime. In an industrial area, during daytime, the noise that is generated can be up to 75 decibel, and during nighttime it is 70. Commercial area, by daytime it is 65 and the nighttime it is 55 decibels. Residential area, during daytime it is 55 and nighttime it is 45 decibels. Silent zone is 50 decibels during the daytime and 40 decibel during the nighttime. And moving on to what the rule says further. is an area comprising not less than 100 meters around hospitals, educational institutions, religious places, or any other area. It may be declared a silent zone for the purpose of these rules by the competent authorities. And the rule specifically prohibits the use of loudspeakers or public address systems without obtaining written permission. That is, if you have to use loudspeakers or if you have to address the public, permission should be taken from the uh, competent authorities. And also, the use of loudspeaker or the public address system at night should also you should seek permission. That is between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. except if you are conducting such activities within a closed premises. Now, the following activities are prohibited in silent zones. What are those activities which are prohibited in silent zones are playing any music or using any sound amplifier. Secondly, beating a drum or blowing a horn, either musical or pressure or trumpet, or beating or sounding any instrument. And the third one is exhibiting any mimetic, musical, or other performances to attract crowds. And any person may make a complaint if the noise level exceeds the standards by 10 decibels, and the authority shall act on the complaint and take action in accordance. Now, with this few points as to what the noise regulation rule says, we will move on to the judicial approach towards this noise pollution, that is, with reference to noise pollution, how the judiciary has played its role in preventing noise pollution or in handling cases which has come to it with regard to noise pollution. The first one is Rabin Mukherjee versus State of West Bengal. Here, the Calcutta High Court recognized the nuisance created by noisy electric and air horns used in buses and trucks and directed the transport authorities to strictly enforce the provisions of the Motor Vehicle Act, which restricted the use of loud and shrill horns. So, this is a case which is related to the noise which was generated by buses and trucks, and it had ordered the authorities to look into the matter. And the next one is P.A. Jacob versus Superintendent of Police. This is a case in the Kerala High Court, and here it is related to the fundamental right to freedom of speech guaranteed under Article 19(1)(e) of our Constitution. And it said that this right did not include the right to use loudspeaker. And Article 21 of the Constitution of India guarantees freedom from tormenting sound. And the next is Dr. Y.T. OK versus State of Maharashtra. Here, the Bombay High Court declined to permit the use of loudspeakers beyond 11:30 p.m. during the Ganesha festival and the Navratri celebrations. And the court directed the state to protect silent sufferers like students, old, infirm, and others who are not interested. Then the next case is Burra Bazaar fireworks dealers versus Commissioner of Police. Here, the High Court decided that no person has a right to manufacture or sell fireworks that created sound beyond the levels which is prescribed by the environment protection rules. And this case also made way for an amendment in the environment protection rules by introducing noise standards for crackers that allowed noise levels up to 125 decibels. And the next one is Maulana Mufti Syed Barkati versus State of West Bengal. Here, the petitioner challenged the restriction on use of loudspeakers imposed by the state between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. as violative of freedom of religion. And the petitioner claimed that Azan, which was integral to Islam, was required to be called 5 times a day through loudspeakers. And so the court held that, and the court here it said that it said that the use of loudspeakers was a technological development and was not a part of Islam. And the next case is Free Legal Aid Cell versus Government of NCT of Delhi. Here, the petitioner's grievance was that the results of display of fireworks are prime cause of concern and had an impact on the health of adults as well as children. The High Court directed that the government should implement the noise norm strictly by establishing separate courts regarding noise pollution, and all district magistrates should be empowered to issue prohibitory orders under Section 144 of CRPC, and to make the subject of environmental studies compulsory in schools, colleges, and universities, and use of firework crackers to be regulated. And the next is Church of God in India versus KKR Majestic Colony Association. And in this case, the question raised in this case was whether beating of drums or reciting of prayers by use of microphones and loudspeakers so as to disturb the peace or tranquility of neighborhood should be permitted. And here the court held that no religion prescribes or preaches that prayers are required to be performed through voice amplifiers or by beating of drums. In any case, if there is such practice, it should not adversely affect the right of others, including of that being not disturbed in their activities. So if you look into the overall cases which we referred so far, here the judiciary has played a very important role to show its concern in preventing the noise pollution in our environment. And we have various laws which are included here. It could be our Indian Constitution, or it could be tort law, or it could be IPC, it could be CRPC. Various laws can be put into in preventing noise pollution in the environment. So with this, we end this topic of noise pollution. Thank you.